Dumbo, the little
Yeah.
elephant. And I was thinking about that, and I thought Dumbo, like he had the little mouse or something, like was his guide. And of course, he was born different. There was something different about him, and he was kind of shunned, but his mother still loved him. And yeah, the big ears and everything. But then he had the mouse, like a guide that guided him. And when he listened to his guide, and then I thought, well, there's Jiminy Cricket. He was the guide too. So it's like all guides. And then you mentioned the trust. If I trust my guides, and then I can fly like Dumbo and use my powers and my little oddities or whatever that make me unique to to yeah, go.
Wow. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Yeah, very powerful. Yeah, good observation. So I don't know what your entirety is, each of you, for your what you've got for your chakras, but you can see that when you start to look at where they might come together, like like what just Janice just explained. I mean, if I read out, and maybe what I'll do is I will create a little reel that tells you what mine are, so I'm not holding up the space here, because I really would like to move on to the next part. But I'll go through mine, and you can see how they tell a story, even though in some cases, like white energy vortex, but I got a white light tower. So those towers that people use at construction sites to light up something, I got that in there too. And yet I got a coyote and I got a raccoon. So how do all of these play into the whole thing, right? And Janice did a beautiful job of just deciphering what Jiminy Cricket meant, what the little mouse meant with Dumbo in this, and the ears and the trust. Very, very powerful what you just figured out there, Janice. Well done. Yeah. So I'm going to lead us down the garden path because when we're out in the garden, more often than not, we get to see these beautiful little beings, the dragonflies. And, you know, when I was recognized that people wanted to learn about the chakras and scanning, I was also very conscious of where I personally wanted to take this, because of my own journey of making everything that I am doing cohesive. And that cohesiveness is that there's the little you, that inner child in ourselves is so like the dragonfly. It flits all over the place, doing all kinds of things. And you so know this from watching children, or knowing from yourself of zipping around doing all kinds of things as a child. And what I love about this is, as that dragonfly takes us on that path, we learn different things. And that's what chasing the dragonfly is all about. That's kind of like the next step after this chakra class. And you're going through each chakra in way more depth. And eventually that chakra, the dragonfly, evolves to the dragon energy, and you become this magical being that I see in you guys already anyway. But that's one of the things that I wanted to bring in with this is, how am I bringing the dragonfly in? So your invitation, should you choose to accept it, is to take your little you on an adventure using the Dragonfly process to remove a chakra block so that your truly aligned path can find you. Imagine being able to confidently scan yourself to find energy blockages, and imagine incorporating the ability to clear and align your chakras wherever you need it into your daily routine. So it's your self-awareness is what you're bringing online. That's these energy portals are portals that bring up your self-awareness. Okay. So you guys are all familiar with the little you, the inner self. You're very familiar with dragonflies, meaning you've seen them flit here and there and go all over the place. And I was having a conversation with someone recently, and they said that the dragonflies seem to have a very erratic behavior, but they actually have a very strong purpose. like they're collecting food, or, you know, unknowingly they may be pollinating other things because of the way that they're moving about from plant to plant as well. And their wings seem very dainty, and yet they're very strong. Like when you think about what their wings are like, it's just like a wing on an airplane. Like you can't believe, you wouldn't think that it would be able to lift a metal thing up into the air. Same with the dragonfly. Their wings are these powerful pieces of themselves. And that's what we're going to tap into now. Is we're going to go into one chakra and play in the energy of that chakra a little bit more. And what I would like to do is, again, notice that I've been talking about the chakras in a couple different ways. I've told you the colors they're associated with. I've told you what they are kind of used for, whether it's grounding, whether it's creative, whether it's joy, whether it's personal truth, intuition, and all these things. But know that as we dig further into these chakras, that they're very, very powerful sources of information on things that have happened to us, even as a child or an adult. Okay. And so what I want to do is teach you this little dragonfly process that I've developed now. And in doing this, in essence, what we're doing is we're going to hone in on one chakra and invite that dragonfly into the chakra. And that it doesn't, you know, if you want to have your dragonfly be a certain color, let it be that color. If it comes through as another color, that what, you know, just flow with the freedom of what the dragonfly represents. The dragonfly represents your inner child, that little you portion of yourself that is looking for an energy block. It's looking for something that is possibly holding you back from moving forward. So knowing, okay, between let me think here, starting with number 1 being the root and number 8 being the crown chakra, write in the chat the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or 8 that you would like to work with. So whatever number pops into your head, you don't even need to know which chakra it lines up with. Unless you want to work with a specific chakra, then write that chakra down in there, and we'll see how that goes. And we'll flow with the energy of whatever comes through with that, okay? Yeah. In fact, we might even be able to do this each individually on the chakra that you're in. Okay. Oh, I guess there's actually 9. No, 8. 8. Yep, I was right. Okay. So you guys picked a chakra there. Shenchi was root chakra, and Janice is her third eye, and Melody is her pineal chakra. So what I'm going to ask you guys to do is to close your eyes, take a breath, feel yourself settle in with that breath. Feel the energy of a dragonfly, whether the dragonfly is flying in and landing on your hand. And just make a connection with that dragonfly. Do know that I am making this sound like it's a very lengthy process, but this can all be done in seconds and even shorter. But for the sake of your learning and discovering this for the first time, we are walking through it in a more lengthy manner. So the dragonfly has landed, whatever color your dragonfly is. Admire your dragonfly. Which way is it pointed as well? Is it pointed left? Is it pointed right? Is it pointed backwards or frontwards? And which hand is it on? So these are the first questions that I want you to ask. Which hand did it land on? Which way is it facing? And then feel this beautiful pathway that is being created into the chakra that you chose to explore today. So feel how that dragonfly is magically within that chakra. and that it's flying around in there. You know, it's probably flying around erratically because dragonflies don't just fly in a straight line. They got to go here and there. So give it the space. Feel that chakra opening up and letting the dragonfly fly all over the place in there. And then giving it the space to let it settle in where it wants to settle. So in your notes, write down which chakra you went into and where it settled. And use descriptive words with the where it settled, like upper, lower, central, right, left, front, back, closer to the front, further from the front, whatever it is. Okay. Beautiful. And then the next question that I want you to ask this dragonfly is whether this is connected solely to you or if there's another person involved. And your dragonfly may say you, or it may say the other person, or it may actually turn directional. Okay. Now, if it turns directional, what I mean by that is my dragonfly actually turned inwards towards me. So I know that it was my energy. If it had turned outwards, for me, that would have meant that it would have been somebody outside of myself that I was connecting in with. And these are just small little things that I've learned about my energy of going inwards or looking outwards. Okay. So let's stop it there and let's have a conversation now. Okay. And I'll use mine as the example, and then we'll dive a little bit further into you guys. Okay. So when we did this, the dragonfly was landing on my right hand, and it was actually facing right. Sorry, it was facing left. I had to remember which direction my directions were, what direction my direction was in. So these are small things that mean something for me. Okay. Again, I keep saying that when I'm talking about the right, it's present day energy. Okay. It's stuff that is in this lifetime, or it's about the present day energy. It's not necessarily about, when I was 15 or something like that. It's more about, actually, I'm going to shift gears on that. Thank you, guys. It's present lifetime energy. That felt like a total shift in understanding what that meant. For me, if something is on the right, it's present lifetime energy. If it lands on the left or comes in from the left, it's past lives or ancient wisdom, other knowledge. Okay. And you can develop your own understanding of what right and left means to you, because right and left may mean, might mean right now is right, and left might mean before today. So it's you will have to develop your own lingo of what right and left means for you. Okay, so another example of that right or left is I am right-handed. So that's a strong part of my body. The right is a strong part of my body. I am not left-handed. My left-handed is my weakness. So it could be strong versus weak. Dominant versus non-dominant. Okay. How does this all come into play? We'll unfold that as we go along. What else is coming up? It also might be gender related. right? Or not only gender related, it could be, it's interesting because I know for myself that, when I'm talking about right energy is present day and left is ancient wisdom, there's also right and left. There's the brain sides. One of those is scientific and the other is heart-based. So whichever one of those it is for you as well, right? So I'm giving you guys some different ideas behind what some of these sides might mean for you specifically. Okay. But it's developing for you what resonates for you. Because like Shen-Chi, she said to me, us here in the group, that I've been away from this for a while. Well, she got to know me back in 2017. And I have changed so much energetically with regards to where I'm tapping in, how I'm tapping into the energy now, that she knows me, she sees me, she recognizes me, she knows that I still have a good heart, that I still mean the best for each individual, but she may not be aware of just how out there I am now with the galactic energy versus right here, so earthbound. So that's why I go to great lengths to explain that that just because I say right is present energy for me and left is ancient wisdom, present energy for me is earthbound energy as well. Left is galactic energy. So it's just really, you have to decide for yourself what each of these things actually mean. I have just given you some examples. Some of them are very obvious, like I'm right-handed, so that's my strength. I can't write with my left hand. So that's a weakness, if you think of it as a strength and weakness way, right? So when your dragonfly landed on, say it was your left hand, well, if that was your dominant hand because you are a southpaw, then there's something powerful coming in to tell you something there on that side, okay? The chakra for me was sacral. So here's this right side dragonfly. It's looking left. So it's looking to me for the ancient wisdom, the ancient connection. It's coming into my sacral chakra, which is my creative center. And then where it settled was the upper right front. So upper to me, it's not a level of anybody being better or worse or anything like that. It's not a level of who I am compared to anybody else. It's where am I on my awareness level, meaning that upper right for me means that I am really consciously aware of where things are happening, where the creative energies are really coming from right now. Okay. And in the front means that I'm consciously aware of that. Front is like consciously aware. To me, back is subconscious. Again, these are all little pieces that may or may not resonate with each of you. Okay. And now you guys thought you were just coming in to do a quick scan of the line, right? I know we're going way deeper. I never imagined that this is where we were going to go, but I'm being divinely guided to bring through this more in-depth information so that you have a better understanding of yourself in this. So who would like to share those questions that were answered? Which hand did it land on? Which way was it facing? Which chakra? And where did it settle?
It was facing left. I felt that it was on my right hand. I'm trying to remember all the questions that you said. I felt like it settled front and center. And when I asked the question, is it connected solely to me or another person? I got teary-eyed and I was like, I don't know. But then I felt like it was connected to another person. And all of a sudden, when you were doing all these extra explanations, I had a huge aha. And I felt that feeling safe, that whole idea of feeling safe, is not my energy. It's connected to my mom's energy of being afraid. And so me feeling like I have to be safe, that means I have to be safe in my relationships, I have to have a house and someone else has to provide it for me. I don't know. It's like really big for me because I was just on a call right before this and the girl was calling me, and her error is she takes massive action. And she's like, Melody, I don't understand when people just don't get it and they don't succeed, because it's like breathing for me. And so she's like, Melody, can you explain for me? And so I was having these conversations with her and I realized a lot of this has to do with this feeling safe. Like it doesn't feel safe to go and ask people to serve them, to help them, to, you know, like, well, what if I offend them? So then I'm going to hold back because I don't feel safe. So feeling safe is a really huge overarching. And I think even whenever that question came up of why do you, oh, like, whatever, it was about state. I don't know. So it's a really big thing. I think I'm still like, wow, it's like unraveling a lot, like a whole lot.
Right. Now I'm just going to kind of slide backwards for just a second here, because you were doing third eye chakra, pineal. The third eye was about that trust. Was it trust? You had what come up in the third eye? Oh, the rebuttal, right? And the pineal was just shaking it up. And I love this because by giving these other explanations, I was shaking up your awareness of what it might be. Energetically, it landed on your right hand, so it feels like, okay, so what does right mean for you?
Well, I mean, it's my dominant hand. Like I am right-handed.
Okay, perfect. Now, also to recognize you are who you are. You are, for lack of better terminology, very Christ conscious. So when right is brought up, what does the word right mean? Like there's a whole other side of this, right? That you personally could bring into this. And I'm just saying that for the information of anybody. Because now we're coming into moral sides of this as well, right? Which I don't know why that wanted to come in, but it wanted to come in, okay? So you're right facing left. I mean, it's so interesting that I'm bringing this up because I really feel like there's something in the Bible that talks about somebody looking right and somebody looking left. This may mean something to you. It means absolutely nothing to me because I'm not religious per se. I don't follow the Bible. But what does these right and left mean for you? Like I'm truly getting the sense that you're getting a whole different understanding of what right and left mean for you right now, right? Okay. Are you willing to share what that might be, what I'm kind of referring to, or do you want to just leave it at that? Or you still
I know that there can't let me see. Sorry. There were they were fighting, like the disciples were fighting over who would be at my right hand. I'm going to be at your right hand. So there was something about it was a dominant thing, like it's important to be at the right. You know, it was like more of a place of honor.
My hairs are standing up on my arms right now. So do you understand now what I mean about how it's important for you to know what these symbols mean? Like that just changed everything, didn't it? Okay. So now coming front and center, like that's you front and center. Like I am just feeling so much power. Like now I see you're caught up in the emotion of something right now, but I want you to step out of the old paradigm of this isn't like step out of the old paradigm and step into that. I am front and center, that God has created me in his likeness and I am that power. Like, whoa. Okay, so now go in again. I want to hear what you said about the chakra that you went into and where it settled in the chakra.
I mean, that's really all I saw, that it was front and center.
Okay.
I didn't see a lot in that aspect.
And you went into the pineal chakra, right? Number 7, pineal chakra.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what I'm energetically feeling, because this is a filtration chakra, it's not just a chakra that's about connecting with the divine or doing this or doing that. It's a filtration chakra. And if energetically, it feels as though you are being asked to recognize what type of energy you want filtrated. So what I'm saying by that, what I'm energetically feeling is that, and it's so interesting because if I want to say you're on the cusp, okay? And I think you can feel the energy of that. Now, when I say you're on the cusp of something, don't get so caught up on the, holy cow, I'm going to have this epiphany moment and life is going to change completely when I get over the cusp. Because sometimes it just goes, and you don't actually feel the big woohoo moment. So be aware of that, okay? But your trajectory over these last months has been very much in this state of, I know that I need to make changes in my life. I know that these ways that I've been talking to myself and doing whatever over however many years is no longer working. But also, too, I am now aware of them on a whole different level. And now this power of who I am is starting to rise. And in that power of who I am starting to rise, that's what you want to start to filter through with your pineal chakra. So when you talk about how do I use this information, it's fall back on what you speak passionately about. You are about empowering her. You're about empowering her. Well, the her has to be you first. And you have been actively working towards that, like in a beautiful manner. And I'm going to use the word powerful again, because those are my words today. I can't sit here and go, well, you got to do this, you got to do that. You can do this, you can do that. Because ideally, it's like when I look at mine and it's like coyotes the trickster and my sacral. So where am I tricking myself? Okay, so now that I've said that, I'm in my pineal chakra with the information that you have. Melody's in her pineal chakra. She's front and center. She's recognizing her power because of the right hand. And who's going to stand beside her? Well, she's going to stand beside herself. She's going to be the witness of what she wants. She's going to be the boundary. She's going to be the gatekeeper that lets through the power, that lets through the stuff that's going to let you move forward, and it's going to say, yo, I don't like that. It's not coming through. That's how you use that chakra. And I know I'm like, I just feel like, seriously, I said this once already in this class, that we were just coming in to scan and align, but oh my gosh, like this information that's coming through. Yeah. Take it and run with it. Take a breath. Wow. Hey, what's going on? Where are you seeing yourself right now?
Sometimes I feel like the words just, but it's like the feeling that comes into me. And that's actually what I was telling the gal. I said, it's not about what you're doing that's different. It's about the energy in which that you do what you're doing. It's a very subtle difference. It's how you're showing up. And I said, it doesn't matter what you do when you're trying to teach these people. I said, it's not matter what they're doing, the systems that are in place. It's about how they're doing it and the attitude with which they have it. And that's what I feel like is shifting. And even over the weekend, I was journaling like who it is that I need to be to have the outcome that I want to have. It means I need to shift the way I've been thinking. It means I need to. And then I had someone actually pray with me on Sunday, and they were like, you are the king, you're the king's daughter. What does that mean? Like for me, being a daughter hasn't always been like, yay, I'm the daughter, And so to identify with that meant that shifts. Like if I'm a king's daughter, like really, like it's a different identity that I take on. It's a different power stance for me. And so that's really, I think, the shift that's happening. It's like, I am, instead of waiting for someone to rescue, I am the one, like you said, the front and center. I'm the one who's empowered. Yeah. I don't feel like the words aren't all there, but it's a feeling of that power that's that you walk in. You have to be in alignment with. You have to walk in it, like not in this, the vibration of, yeah.
I totally get where you're coming from, because this year has been a real eye-opener for myself in understanding what my journey is. And like that email that I sent out, that I feel like a broken record, where I'm being repetitive over the things that I'm saying about 5D, 3D, human concept, spiritual awareness, spiritual journey, It's because if I wasn't doing this, it's like you repeating to other people. We're getting it ourselves. When we're saying it, we're getting it ourselves. And in saying it time and time again and writing it, we are becoming it. And then we become the, I want to say the forefathers, the front leaders. We become the way showers, if you will, right?
The waymaker.
Yeah, yeah.
Shows
Yeah.
up like that.
Okay. Wow. Thank you. Janice, would you like to share what happened with your experience?
Little dragonfly, my pink dragonfly. It didn't land on me. It landed on a boulder just in front of me. And it was facing left. And then when it, I guess when it fluttered down to a room, and it was like a royal palace room, and it went lower center at the back.
Okay, thank you. So I'm now going to push you. So first of all, what does the boulder mean for you?
Well, it was on the shoreline, so it wasn't in the water, but there was water there. So the boulder wasn't blocking anything, which we usually think boulders are obstacles or in a way, but it wasn't. It was dry land. It was like it was almost like a nice resting place, to be dry, to be in the sun, even though it was kind of shaded because there's the forest canopy and everything. So it was just a nice, pleasant place to rest.
Okay, I love the energy of that. I'm aware of two other things, if I may share them.
Yeah.
Okay. One is that it's outside of you.
Yes.
And then when you were talking about the boulder, it was so funny because when you first mentioned it, I wrote down boulder. It is what it is, right? And then when you started to talk about the boulder and where it was like, oh, I remember talking about boulders. And Shen-Chi probably will remember this because she's from way back in 2017. Boulders are like expectations in the middle of the river. And when the expectations are there, the boulders are there, the water cannot flow like it would like to flow. We have to remove the boulder. So I love too that your boulder wasn't actually in the water. It was on the shoreline. So it wasn't blocking anything. You were very aware of that. So recognize what I heard you just say was that there's this boulder out here. My dragonfly landed on there and it was very peaceful and it wasn't blocking anything. So that awareness that nothing's blocking you, that's huge. Grab that. That's like the power center that Melody was talking about with that right hand and that, right? That's a huge moment that nothing's blocking you. Who's blocking you if anything's blocking you? Right? Yeah. Okay. So this is third eye energy. So yeah, that's totally in alignment because we're talking about intuition and awareness, right? Lower center. So again, center. So what would lower versus upper mean for you in this case?
I guess if you do it as a sort of a caste system, lower means not as good as, something's above you.
Okay. If that's how you feel.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good.
Yeah. And you know what? That's why I'm asking you what lower means for you, right?
Mhm.
Because you heard me when I spoke about mine was upper right front. So it's that upper right front means that right is present energy, front is like here. I'm looking at it, I'm aware of it, but also too, I'm actually upper. I'm looking at it from this other level of looking at things. Like I've changed how I'm looking at things now, right? So when you talk about that lower center now, it's recognizing that you're there, because that center just really feels like it's all about your energy, right? So that lower center, lower, you have been working with the energy of where you felt in the family dynamics, in other relationship dynamics, and that. So maybe what you're saying is very accurate. That lower caste, and when we're saying caste, that's I think it's spelled caste, right? It's like a different. It's yeah, and now being aware of that, choose to stand on the boulder instead.
Ah,
Right? So every moment, like this is your third eye energy. So this is you going and so it's just like when you were going for the walk the other day and you remembered my story about the confident woman, you shifted into that. You stood up on the boulder. You weren't the person watching anymore. Okay? This is what you're being asked to do, is step up on that boulder. Like step into it. Okay.
it's
Go ahead.
interesting too, because it was also at back rather than the front. So it's
Okay.
like move forward.
Yeah. And that's what you've been asking to do this year. And you've been doing. So all of these pieces are still pointing you in that direction. It's not that they're saying you're not there. They're just showing you, okay, here's another tool to use. So for me, like I'm going to be very conscious of the coyote in my creative center. It's, okay, he's a trickster. So where am I tricking myself? And by tricking myself, it's like it's not necessarily that I'm tricking myself. It's those words that I may have of self-doubt that I'm doing something or something like that, right? It's not because I mean I'm creative. I know that. I mean I look around me and I see the things. I know I'm creative. So that it's attempting to fool me in a different manner. Right. Oh, and then what she just said, yeah. Melody just said that you were talking about the back in your last vision about being stabbed. So here's the back. You're in the back again. So yeah, when those moments come up, you can be very consciously aware. Now, this isn't necessarily moments of where are you in the family hierarchy, but this is where do you place yourself? Just like, we all hear people who go, oh man, I sure wish I could read like them. I wish I was a psychic like them. I wish I did this like them. That's where you're playing in the energy of this, because it's third eye, right?
Most definitely.
Yeah. That gives you a little bit of food for thought there, eh?
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Any follow-up question to that right now?
Just kind of thinking about that being stabbed in the back too, because
What does Louise
that can,
Hay say about back?
yeah, that can hold you back as well.
Represents the support of life. Back.
Ah,
Yeah. And now, we could go off on some other tangents with this, meaning that, it's like myself. How does this want to come through? I'm like yesterday I took the whole day. I drove to the city and back. Honestly, I made sure that I did my morning pages. I made sure that I at least got that done. So what are you doing that's supporting you on your journey? you know, and what are you not doing that you wish you were doing? Don't get caught up on that. Oh my God, I wish I was doing that. Because it will come when it really, really needs to come. It's like, you know what? I spoke to another person this morning. She goes, yeah, I haven't written morning pages for 6 months. Really? Did I not just say that in a call the other day that it's been like me? I haven't really written morning pages. So
Yeah.
stuff is going on across the plane for everybody right now. So we have to allow ourselves the space so that when we're ready to actually do it, it's going to be there, or it's going to be there when we're ready to do it. However you want to word that, right? Let's not get caught up on the I'm not doing something. Because right now, I can tell you right across the entire world and humanity, I'm 95% sure that we are all experiencing those thoughts of we should be doing something when we're actually being asked to be in a holding pattern experiencing right now. And of course, that doesn't mean you're not doing anything, right? You're still doing something. Go ahead, Melody.
I don't know. I was just thinking a lot about the back. I mean, how is it that you're stabbing yourself in the back? Is it your own thoughts also by thinking you're not doing enough? Can that also be holding you back, so to speak?
Okay. Yeah, good point.
Yes.
Okay. Shenji, are you able to speak? Cannot speak right now. Using chat instead. She saw a red and bright blue dragonfly. Bear with me here. I just want to pin me. Okay, so I saw a red and bright blue dragonfly. First of all, I absolutely love the dragonfly you saw. It faced towards me. It faced me towards the left, but feels like it was looking past behind me. Okay, it landed on my left hand. I'm left-handed, so that's the dominance if we're going in that route. It circled a few times, landed on the end of my spine, perhaps because I was thinking about the root chakra. Beautiful. And it quickly moved up and stayed at the lower back where I normally feel pain. When you mentioned a different person, I thought about my grandpa who passed away when I was away from home in college. Yeah, a lot going on there. So energetically, you know, like I gave all kinds of descriptions there about what left and right mean. You saw me go deeper with Melody with regards to the religious aspect, the Christ consciousness. You too have your own cultural stuff that's coming in. So what does right and left mean for you in your culture, Shenchi? I'm just reading this again. I love that it circled a few times and then landed on the end of your spine. So what are you, what there energetically, how does this phrase want to come through? There's something about, the word indecisiveness may have come in the past. It doesn't feel like you're using this indecisiveness anymore. It feels like that indecisiveness is more about the past. So when you, like that circling around, looking to see where to land, but the dragonfly is landing. It's not like it just continues to circle around. So it's really aware of the decisions that it wants to make now. Is the energy of what I'm feeling with this dragonfly. I think you're absolutely accurate with that. Maybe it was because I was thinking of the root chakra. Sure, perfect. Nothing wrong with that at all. Like that's that energy of that, right? Trust yourself. Trust the energy of those thoughts. Maybe it was because I was thinking of this. Yes. Go with it was because I was thinking of this chakra. Okay, because it'll show you differently otherwise. Because then it moved quickly to somewhere else. It moved to the lower back. Well, the lower back is actually the back of the sacral chakra. If you weren't aware of that, recognize that it actually is the back of the sacral chakra, depending on where you are on your lower back. Okay, so this is coming into that creative center from a different angle, possibly as well. What else was come through here? When you mentioned a different person, I thought about my grandpa who passed away when I was away at school. So again, cultural things, right and left, people passing away, you know, there's all kinds of things happening energetically here. And I keep mentioning culture because I know that you have very strong ties to the culture. You are not caught up. Thank you, guys. You're not caught up in the American way per se. You have very strong ties to your country still. Family lives there. You were brought up in that culture. So there's something about the culture that's coming through here as well. It doesn't mean that you are unable to break away from those cultural pieces, but it's just something to be aware of when you are deciphering what left means, what right means, what passing away means, all these different bits and pieces. Okay. Let's see what else. Yeah. I'm thinking about the back since everybody's feeling it. Yeah. Yeah. We're really talking about the back a lot here. For me, though, the energy of the lower back, yeah, and I think you're accurate too with that, the awareness of back. So there's something that you're aware of behind the scenes that's happening. Okay. And again, I don't know why the cultural part is coming in very strongly. I feel like, well, how does this want to be worded? Again, I have no idea what the cultural beliefs are that you've been raised with, is how this wants to come through. And because of that, I find it difficult to say that you're being held back by something or not held back by something. But I'm just really aware that because of the cultural background, that there is a limiting belief that might be coming through. And it is my experience with this because I work also with somebody who is Korean. So there's those cultural beliefs that have come in. Also too, Melody wrote on the thing, lower back can represent money, while root chakra means money. In fact, we can do money stuff with every single chakra. The reality of it is that as well. So I'm wondering if, for me, it feels uncertainty about the unknown. I am of 10 needing to see things to believe them. Okay, you're often needing to see things to believe in them. I think it's telling me that I need to have more faith and not succumb to fear. I love the energy of that because, first of all, you're here. You've been here for the whole class. You and I have worked together in the past, obviously since 2017, we've known each other. That's that limiting belief coming through. Some of these things are cultural. These fears that you have are cultural more than they are actually you. And it is easier to let go of something that is a limiting belief that is cultural than it is if it's your own personal experienced fear. So if you had a near drowning experience, that's a personal, I had that fear. Okay. But if it's something that there's been no swimmers in my family because we don't like water. That's a limiting belief. Okay. So you had that experience? Oh my gosh, that's so bizarre that I would say that. Wow, Shenchi. Wow. So having said that, then you can see the real specific differences between a limiting belief and an actual fear. Okay. So that's what you're being asked to address. Get creative. What chakra are we working on? You were number 1, the root chakra. So it's that grounding energy. Have a very in-depth understanding of whether this is an actual fear or one that you've been brought up to believe in. That feels very, very empowering. How does that feel? You can write it in the chat if you're unable to speak. Wow. Very, very interesting. Well, I'm just waiting for her to, yeah, it gives you a lot to process. Exactly. Yeah. So this, when we're talking about like when we did the basic chakra and aligning, yeah, like, okay, just to kind of recap. Number one is you can align your chakras very, very simply by going crown, pineal, third eye, throat, heart, solar plexus, sacral, root. And even in doing that, I can feel myself lining up. Another way is that we literally dive deep into one and look at it like we did. Another way is that scanning energetically like we did. Now, you can take this a step further, and there have been times where I've scanned a person's energy. And so I'm kind of doing this with my hands and I'm feeling their energy. And I'm just going to use this as an example. So say there's a person standing in front of me right here. Okay. And say when I'm scanning their body, their energy, I'm letting my hands follow the energy. Okay. So when I'm letting my hands follow the energy, and I'm just doing this as an example, say my hand goes like this and then back in. Well, that hand out like that means that chakra is out of alignment and it's probably over to the side. It's not necessarily in alignment with the body. But that's something, remember I asked you guys to do the feel the energy, bring your hands apart, feel your energy. You can scan your own body right now. You can scan down your body and see if you are kind of like in alignment. Like just like you don't even have to scan your body. You can picture that it's you standing in front of you and scan you like that. Okay. So just give me a second here. Oh, interesting. Okay. So Melody, yours felt pretty straight up and down. Janice, yours felt like your Earth Star chakra was out to the right a bit. So energetically, just it's back in alignment now. I'm just bringing it back into alignment, and I'm stroking the aura energy to do that. Shenchi, your sacral root chakra felt actually out to the left a little bit. So to me, if we're talking about what I think left and right is, that's old. Remember I said ancient wisdom, past energy? That's that limiting beliefs and stuff that I was talking about. Okay. So do know though that because I've actually gone and checked on your chakras, I've actually aligned your chakras as well. Okay. So you can verbally say your chakras and you bring them into alignment, because it just your awareness of them brings them into alignment. You can feel them to see what they are. Like you could do this, Shenchi, with your son if he's around. Even if he's not around, you can energetically imagine him in front of you and just feel the chakras. And if one is out of alignment, ask for it to go back into alignment, because it's just as gentle. What I often do with a chakra that's out of alignment, like that one was out that direction, I would just go a little bit further in that direction and then feel it bounce back. Don't try and push it back in, because usually you'll find resistance. But if you go in the same direction that it's already out, it will bounce back. That's orthobionomy. That's this beautiful energy work, okay? Know that if you guys are interested in diving way deeper into specific chakras and that I do have that Chase the Dragonfly coming up in July. And there is more information. I'll send it out in an email around that. If you have any questions about what we've just done, I know we did a whole bunch of stuff. It brought up all kinds of awarenesses. As I said, I had no idea this is where I was going to go with it. I'm always divinely guided. It's always for the highest good, for the most benevolent reasons, the greatest good of all. Maybe let's just kind of go around. Are there any last questions that you would like before we do takeaways? Anybody have anything that they want to question before we wind up? Because there's no silly questions, honestly, meaning that it doesn't matter what you ask, somebody else needed to hear it too. Okay, so there's no silly questions. So if you have a question, ask it. Everybody's okay? Okay. Takeaways if no questions, or if you've got a question, I'm still open.
Do you do it as a regular part of your healing? I don't know, like, keeping yourself to a, like your self-help health or
I won't, I hear what you're asking. You're asking if I do this on a regular basis, regardless of how I'm doing it, whether it's for self-care or whether I'm doing it
Yeah.
for self-healing, whatever it is. I will be honest, I do not do it on a regular basis. It is one of the tools that I do have, and I do use it. So I've used this with, I love the dragonfly in there because I play with dragonflies and dragon energy, and Janice has experienced doing dragon energy in every single chakra. We've done it with little U energy in every single chakra. Like, I love playing in the energy of the chakras because they're a tool. They're a place that we can find information in. But if I feel drawn to it, I will jump all over it. Like, I will definitely go in and do it. So it's like, you ask, do you do it regularly? Well, no, I don't. But then I just said, well, we've done it with dragon energy. We've done it with little U. We've done it with dragonflies. We've done it with higher self energy. I am guided to when I need to be doing it, whether it's with a group or by myself. I listen to that guidance. That was a beautiful question. Thank you. And thank you for your comment, Shen-Chi. Her guide, she knows it was her guide telling her she should be here when she saw the email. Thank you. Kate, any takeaways? If not, that's absolutely fine. You guys didn't learn anything today?
Well, I was going to say this has been a really wonderful experience and so informative. And I guess one for me, nothing is blocking me. I want to climb up on that boulder and give her.
Love it. So powerful. Right on. Good.
I love having another tool to use. I really love that aspect. And then well, I mean, she said nothing is holding me back, and I wrote, I am empowered. I felt like I had a major breakthrough, very aha. And the truth is, I had another call that they were asking me to be on, and I was like, and so I came on yours instead.
Thank you. I love that because you're being divinely guided, and I'm not saying you're divinely guided to be spending the time with me. Ultimately, you're divinely guided, and paying attention to the divine guidance is what helps us to move forward in whoever we had to stop in and listen to. Love it. Thank you, guys. Okay, thank you.